Hey guys, it's Natalie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 middle grade book recommendations. And personally, I love middle grade books. I don't think there's anything wrong with reading any age level of book that you feel comfortable with. So yeah, I have 5 middle grade books to share with you today. I think all of these are very impactful and they all impacted me in different ways and I loved them for different reasons. And I also want to be a teacher when I'm older and I really want to teach younger kids English. So I would like to have a personal library in my classroom that I could lend out to the kids in my class. So I am slowly compiling that list of books to have in my future classroom. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. So really quickly, before I mention these 5 awesome books, I wanted to mention really quickly that I am a rep for Fable Bands, which is this really cute little shop, and they basically make headbands and scrunchies that are based on books, and I'm wearing one right now. This one is the Cruel Prince themed, and I absolutely love everything that the shop owner makes, and she's actually located in my home state of Florida, and everything is 100% handmade with love, and I just love everything that she makes. So I will link her shop down below. You can use my discount code NAT10 for 10% off of your purchase. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that really quick. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I am a rep for Fable Bands and I absolutely love the service. So if you want to become a Fable Bandit, then you can click the link in my description down below. So the first book I have to talk about is Other Words for Home by Jasmine Warga, and this follows the story of a girl named Jude who is a Syrian immigrant, and it follows her story coming to America for the first time with her mother and leaving her father and her other sibling behind in Syria, and just the harassment and prejudice she faces for being a Syrian Muslim girl in America. This book was just so heartwarming and so endearing, and I just loved everything about it. I think that this is exactly the type of representation that we need in books right now, and I just think this came out at such a perfect time, and I think that anybody of any age level can read this and enjoy this and learn something from it. And I don't know, I loved everything about this, and it's also written in prose, so it's absolutely beautiful to read. And the audiobook for this is also so well narrated, and I was literally moved to tears while I was listening to this at work. So I highly recommend the book or the audiobook, either or. They're both so amazing, and I just can't say enough good things about this book. This has the POC identity and topic of immigration and what it means to be a refugee in America, and I don't know, I just think this book is so important and I loved it so much. So the next book that I have to talk about is Amal Unbound by Aisha Saeed, and this one follows the story of a girl named Amal who lives in Pakistan, and she says something wrong to the wrong person and she ends up getting forced into indentured servitude and leaving her family behind and working without pay for a very corrupt family in Pakistan. And I think this book is so important because personally, when I was in school, I didn't learn anything about indentured servitude, and this book really discusses and makes it known that indentured servitude still exists today. Just because it's not happening where you live, it's still happening, and it's still a very important issue that needs to be talked about. I also am not very educated on Pakistani culture, and so I think this is a very small infusion of Pakistani culture and learning about like the politics and things like that. Obviously to a very minimal degree, considering this is a middle grade book, but I think this is a good segue into learning about that, and I love to learn about new cultures and things like that. So I think this book is so informative and so important. As I'm going to say for all of these books, this one is so good and can be read and enjoyed by anybody regardless of age level, and I also really loved the audiobook for this one. I highly recommend it, and I think it was so well narrated and it just had so much heart. So I highly recommend this one, and like I said, I think it's very important. It has a lot of culture in it, as well as Other Words for Home by Jasmine Warga. Both of these have so much culture and so much information, and I think that they're just so important. I just loved Amal as a character because she definitely was so defiant and raised up against what she was being faced with, and she tried so hard to fight for her dreams of being a teacher, and I just loved everything about this. So the next middle grade book I have to talk about is actually a graphic novel series, and that is Amulet by Kazuki Buishi, and this is a middle grade graphic novel that follows Emily and Navin, who are brother and sister, and after a family tragedy they move to a house that has been in their family for generations, and one night their mother hears a sound downstairs and gets taken by this really creepy tentacle monster, and it kind of just follows the story from there. And this is just so fantastical and whimsical, and it has like a prophecy kind of thing going on, and I just love the art style of this. It's so gorgeous, and it's so fun. And I also cried within the first 15 pages of this book just because it was so like heartbreaking. I'm currently on the second graphic novel in the series right now. I believe there's 8 or 9 that are currently published, and I'm just really enjoying this so far. It's so amazing, and I just can't say enough good things about it. This has family relationships and paranormal elements and portal fantasy vibes and everything like that. So if you like TV shows like Gravity Falls or Over the Garden Wall, then I think you would really enjoy this graphic novel series. I've never heard anybody talk about this, and I think it needs to be talked about because even though this was published in the early 2000s, this is still so amazing, and I just love it. So the second to last book I have to recommend is Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli, and this one follows the perspective of a boy named Leo, and he goes to a high school in Arizona where everybody is kind of uniform and they don't really deviate from what's considered normal. And one day a girl named Stargirl shows up, and she is so different, and she's not like anything anyone in the school has ever seen. She goes around school with her pet rat, and she plays her ukulele and sings to everybody, and I just love everything about this book. This book has really great themes about friendship and found family and what it means to belong and being different and everything like that, and I think this is one of the first middle grade books I've read where it actually takes place in high school, and I think that made me enjoy it and connect to it even more. And I just think this is so amazing, and it can be enjoyed by anybody, and the audiobooks for these are also really great. So I really recommend this one and the sequel of the duology, which is Love Stargirl, which basically just follows Stargirl's perspective. I love her as a character. I think she's so whimsical and so fun and spontaneous, and she doesn't care what anybody thinks of her. So yeah, I highly recommend this and Love Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. They are definitely some of my favorite middle grades ever. So the last middle grade book I have to talk about is George by Alex Gino, and this follows the story of a girl named George who is trans, and she's suffering from body dysmorphia and bullying and harassment at school, and I just loved everything about this. I think it's so important, and I think that kids who are trans or struggling with their identity get dismissed because they're like, oh, it's just a phase. But George in this book, she really knows who she is, and she knows that she wants to be a girl, and I just loved everything about this. The audiobook for this is really good, and it's really short, so I think that anybody can read this and enjoy this and kind of have their eyes opened a little bit. So yeah, I loved everything about this, and I think that this is another very important middle grade book that everyone should read and everyone should enjoy, because this is just something that's not really discussed in books often, let alone middle grade books. I think that this middle grade book is really paving the way for more inclusive middle grade books for people who are LGBTQIA+, or if they are POC, and I think this just really is paving the way for better middle grade books, and I definitely want to read more by this author very soon. So those are the 5 middle grade books I have to recommend. This definitely won't be my last book recommendation video or my last middle grade book recommendation video. I really love all of these books, and I stand by them, and I loved the audiobooks for most of these. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe down below, and hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss a single upload, and have a great day. Let me know if you guys know of any great middle grade books that you love, and I would always love to add more to my shelf. So yeah, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye!